Yes, once again is Sandenani from Edukea Company, and it is our usual English session with the topic of word classes, particularly in type 1, that is noun. So the last session we discussed the meaning of noun, types of nouns, by which we particularly based on two types of nouns, which are proper nouns and the common nouns. So we said that proper nouns are those names which are given to the particular name. They are used to show particular names of a given person or place. For example, John. So we said a word John is proper name because it is mentioned to a particular name of a given person. And once, for example, you have a teacher is entered in the class and he or she wants to call a particular student, but that student is specific name is John. So this John is proper name. And once teacher come here or there at a particular place or class, he or she will particularly says, may I see John. So once he or she says John, a certain person that is John is the one who will come and not otherwise. That is different from common names. So common names are used to assign a general name of a given person. For example, a boy, a student. So if that teacher now enters in the class and say, I need one student or I need one boy, then anybody who is given a sex of being a male, he will come, since it is a boy. That is too different from proper names, since proper names are given to the particular name, a specific name, specification that is different from generalization. So now you are most welcome to proceed with the other types of nouns. And right now we are checking third type of noun, that is countable nouns. So once we say a word countable, it is an ability of being counted. It is from a word count, that is a verb. You have to count. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and the others. So now countable nouns are name or names of things which can be counted. As we see, the name itself states that it is countable. So these are name of things which can be counted. And since they are counted, now they receive singular and plural form. That is why we may differentiate them by counting to show that whether it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and others. So countable nouns are ones which can be counted, and they receive singular and plural form. Let us see examples of those nouns. So we have a word car. So once we say car, particularly it is one, it is singular. Again, once we want to change it into plural, now it's where we may add s and states or show that it is now a plural form. It is a plural. So we can't say two car. No. Simply because this is countable nouns. We may count them by saying a one car. Or once we say a car, so particularly this is one. That is different by saying cars. So once we say cars, they can be 2, 3, 4, and the other numbers which are plural. Again, we have other example like house. So this house, once you say house, a house, everyone will know that it is one, since these are countable nouns. So a word itself, house, expresses that this object, it is in one, in oneness or in singular. Again, this house can receive s to form plural, then we get houses. So a word houses now, it is plural form of house. And here we may see that we can't say two house. No. Simply because once you say house, it is one. It is one. Since these words have the ability of being counted. But we can say now in a correction form or corrective form, we may use from being two houses, 3 houses, 4 houses, 20 houses, like that. Again, we have other example, that is a person. A person. So we can't say 2 person. No. But once you say, I met with a person, so everybody will know that it is one. Simply because this is countable noun. So a word person itself, it is in countable form, in counted form. That is why we see that it is one person. But the plural form now of this person is people. It is people. So now we may say, I met with the 2 people. I met with 3 people. 100 people. So here we are in correct form. Simply because we have now already expressed them in plural form. So this is all about the countable nouns. So here, how can we now identify those countable nouns? It is through this plural marker and the singular marker. If a word receives plural singular form and a plural form, now it is countable noun. Since the instance of calling that it is singular, we have already counted. That's why we say it is one. That is a singular. But again, once we say there are many now, this is also ability of being counted. That's why we say plural is from 2. It is from 2 and so on and so forth. So if there are 2, 3 and other numbers which are proceeding, it is plural. So this is countable nouns. Other type of noun is unaccountable nouns. Unaccountable nouns. So here we have an that is preceded before a word countable. So this an shows negation, or an means negation, means not. An is equal to not. So once we say unaccountable nouns, in simplest way, that is to say not countable nouns or non-countable nouns. That is to say are names of things which cannot be counted. So it is too simple. Since we have a prefix an or a word an which show none or not. So unaccountable nouns are those nouns or name of things which cannot be counted. And since they cannot be counted, they do not receive plural form. They are only in singular, even in their writings or in their usage. They only being used in singular and not plural. So that is to say they don't have singular form or plural form. And those words are like water. So a word water does not have a plural form. We can't say 1 water, 2 water. That means we can't count them. That's why they are called unaccountable nouns. So if it is water, then we say a water. Please, can you give me some water? Instead here we will check on those qualitative and quantitative words. on whether we may use quality weights and quantitative weights. So this is another case that we will discuss for other session. Once it will come, it's time. So we have water, salt, milk, sun, sugar, and the last, and so forth. So these words cannot be counted, and we don't have a plural form of these words. For example, if it is water, we can't add s here to show that it is a plural. No, simply because this is not countable nouns, non-countable words. So water remains as it is. Water. Salt, the same. It remains as it is. Salt. Milk, the same case. It remains as it is. Sand, sugar, and the others. So now, what are the differences between countable and uncountable nouns? One is countable, they can be counted. They can be counted. We may count them, 1, 2, 3, and other numbers. While uncountable, they cannot be counted. We can't count such thing like water, like the rice, and the other examples of uncountable nouns. Again, other differences is that these nouns, they don't have, countable nouns receive plural form, while the uncountable nouns do not. They don't have a plural form. So these are two types of nouns, which are countable nouns and uncountable nouns. And once we see them carefully from our first type, or from our first lessons that we have discussed, the two types which are proper and common nouns, we may see that those two for the previous sessions, they are vice versa to each other. They are contrast to each other. Even these now too, again they are contrast to each other, since countable noun is a vice versa of uncountable nouns. The same in proper nouns and common nouns. So let us now check other types of nouns out of. So other type of noun is abstract nouns. So abstract nouns, here we are describing the names of things which cannot be seen or touched. So these are names of things which cannot be seen or touched. They just only appear for imagination. So we just believe only their existence, but just for imagination. We just imagine that there is something, there is an angel, but nobody has been never with it. We just believe only their existence, but not in realistic. So such kind of those words, they are called abstract nouns. So are those names or nouns which cannot be seen or touched. They just appear for imagination. For example, we have those words like an angel, Satan, air, hunger, build, God, and the others. I think nobody has never been meet with an angel. We can't meet with it. Satan, air, hunger, we just feel. I feel I have a hunger, but you can't touch it and catch it. That is a hunger. That is an angel. No, nothing like that. Even build. That's why I may comment that this thing. Let's say this phone. This phone is good. It is good for anybody. But again, it may have another person now. Another person may come and say, no. This is not. It is not just a good phone for me. For me, it is not it's just a bad. I don't like it. Its appearance. It's the biggest. I don't like a bigger phone. I just like just a medium phone. that is not too bigger or too smaller or too thinner. So just like that. So these kind of nouns, or this group of words, group of nouns, are called abstract nouns. Again, we have concrete nouns. So now concrete nouns are contrast of abstract nouns. That's to say, these are things which can be seen and touched. These are name of things which can be either seen or touched. So they can be seen and touched. They are really objects. So they just appear for realistic. Since we can observe them, we can see them, we can touch them, we can catch them, and the like. So as I said, they are contrast of abstract nouns. They just include a pen. So a pen can be either seen or touched. We may touch, we may catch it, just like what I have. Again, table. We may have a table. We may take it, remove it from one place to another. So this is a realistic object. It is not just comes from realistic. Again, we have chair. So something like chair, again, it belongs to concrete nouns. Again, we have cat. A cat, that animal can be seen and touched. That's to say, it appears for realistic and not for imagination. Again, we have other example like a dog. A dog is also belongs to concrete noun. Again, we have a bag. Even a bag, we see it, we see that object. Again, we take it, then we carry it. Since we are just using it to carry or to put our different things. For example, for those students or pupils, they may use bags for preserving their learning materials like exercise books, pens, and other mathematical tables and other things which can be used to keep it. So let us finish with the last type of noun. But before, we may also see that these two, again, they are vice versa, or they are in contrasting form, since abstract noun is a contrast of concrete noun. Since these cannot be seen and touched, while the other type, that is concrete, they can be seen and touched. So they are the same, like proper and common, or proper versus common, as well as countable versus uncountable. So again, now we have abstract versus concrete. So let us now finish with the last type of noun. Yes, other type of noun is collective nouns. So collective. Please, students, collect your exercise book. That means you have to take those books to put them together to be a one group. Now, these collective nouns, these are names or group of names which are given to the single word. We have those group of things, group of names of things, but those now they are given a single word. That's why they are called collective nouns. So there must be collection of different things, name of things, but now those collections, those things are given a single word. That is to say, they are called collective nouns. So these are a group of names or nouns which are given to the single word. They are given to the single word. And for more clarification, let us observe the following group of things. Let us observe now those group of things which are given a single word. For example, we have army. So this word army, it is a collection of soldiers or group of soldiers. But now those soldiers who are in a group now, they are given a single word. Collective form of this part, that is army. For example, we may now use this word like Tanzanian army. We can't say Tanzanian soldiers. So this is not good for the modern English, for the current students who are learning current English. So now army, it is an example of collective noun since it states the collection of soldiers. Again, you have band or band. So band is a group of musicians. And for those who are followers of music, we have numbers of Tanzanian band or band. For example, we have Malaika band. So Malaika band is all about the collection or group of different musicians. But now those musicians, they have joined together and make the unit. So that group or that unit now, it is called the band. We had the Yamoto band, another example of band, Tanzanian band in music. Again, we have other example like gang. A gang is a group of thieves. Those thieves. So we have those examples of collective nouns like army, that is a group of soldiers. So those soldiers, once they are in a group, in a certain group, in their collection, then we call them army. So army is a group of soldiers. For example, Tanzanian army. So we can say Tanzanian soldiers. Not good. Simply, those soldiers, they have their one name. That is termed in terms of a group. They are termed in a group. Then we call, or yet a word, army. Again, we have band. A band, group of musicians. So those musicians, once they are together now, then we are calling them a band. For example, in Tanzania we have Malaika band. So this Malaika band is a collection of different musicians who are singing, who are performing. Again, we had the Yamoto band. Yamoto band is the other example of band. So we have a lot of bands. But this is not only for musicians, famous musicians. Even at school, where we may have a school band. So a school band, there are those people who are making performance, but those people must be in a group. That's why we call a school band. Again, we have gang, another example. That is a group of thieves. So those thieves, once they are together, we call it a gang. The last but not least, it is a swarm. This swarm is a group of beings. So those beings, once they are together, then we call it a swarm. So these are 7 types of nouns. So we have to understand them so that we may identify them in our sentences. Once they are used in a certain sentence or text or utterances, we have to be able now to identify them. But in most cases, most of questions are from collective nouns. So I have just mentioned a few examples of those nouns, of those collective nouns. But you have many of them. And for the betterness of our learning or of this session, let us now check a task which is particularly based on collective nouns. So please, let us try to make that task so that we may be able to answer those questions based on collective nouns. Thank you. As we have discussed our today's lesson, that we have those countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Again, we have discussed about abstract nouns. Again, we have concrete noun, and the last is collective nouns. Again, I emphasized that out of those 5 types of nouns, we have to much concentrate on collective nouns, since it is a type that is mostly asked in our exams. So our questions, examination questions, are normally focused in this type of noun, that is a collective noun. So here now we have a task, that is to write the collective nouns given to the following group of words. So we have to find out those names given to these particular or collections of names. Number 1 is collection of books. So we have to find out the name that is given to the collection of books. Again, we have collection of lions. Lions. What is the name given to this collection or group of lions? Again, we have collection of players. What is the name given to the collection or group of players? Collection of actors or actress. It is another question. So we have to find out the name given to that collection of actors. Again, we have collection of listeners. Collection of listeners. Listeners as a group. What is the name given by that group? Collection of employees. Employees together. For example, in the school and other organizations. Again, collection of ships. Collection of ships. Ships as a group together. What is the name given by them? So please, we have to conduct this task so that we will be able to identify different types of collection or collective nouns. But they are not only this, but these are just as a few examples. So we may check a lot of them as much as we make a follow-up of our English session based on word classes. Thank you.